Podcast Network Asia.
A story of restoration. How did a girl from a broken family who suffered depression for years find hope and light? This is the 21st episode of the Major Podcast with Venus Ra. Hello to all our listeners on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. And thank you to our major sponsor, MX3. In today's episode, we will not read a letter, but we've invited a special guest to share her story. An inspiring story of hope and restoration. Joining me here in the studio is PK Gutierrez. She's a speech language pathologist who helps children with special needs. She's also a digital influencer from Pampanga. Let's get to know more about her story. Hello, PK.
Hi, Ate V.
Hello. It's been a long time.
I know. More than a year.
More than a year.
And a lot has changed.
I know. Ikaw din, napakaganda mo. At it's so nice to see you once again.
Ikaw din. As always.
Yeah.
Ay, bawal tumingin.
Okay lang tumingin.
Kausap pala natin sila.
Actually,
Hi.
guys, hindi ako sanay na tawagin siyang PK kasi we call her Trish in the industry. But for now, I'll call you PK because
PK or Trish?
Sige.
Any is good.
Kahit saan tayo. Tell us about your story. Yun nga, medyo matagal na tayong hindi nag-kausap. Matagal tayong hindi nakapag-catch up. So treat this as just a catching up with an ate. Tell me about your journey.
Actually, magsimula tayo sa umpisa. Hi, I'm PK and I was born in a normal family, normal Filipino family. So hindi kami mahirap, hindi kami mayaman. But we had a comfortable life. So may mga businesses, ganyan. Komportable ang buhay. We studied in private schools. But everything changed when I was 6 years old. And yun nga, my parents separated. So since then, nung bata pa kasi ako, alam mo yung parang we have the image of a perfect family. Maganda yung work ng both parents.
Yeah.
Lagi kaming lumalabas. And then yun nga, hindi in-expect ng lahat. 6 years old ako, my parents separated. And my life took a 180-degree turn. So since then, yung businesses namin, na-bankrupt, na-close yung iba, and then my mom had to go away. Ayun. Tapos syempre, siguro yung daddy ko, nahirapan siya mag-cope. So, nag-cope siya with alcohol, with yon yung mga ganon. And there were times na syempre, high ang emotions. May konting abuse din.
Yeah.
So eventually, my mom had to fly. Pero nung time na yon, hindi namin alam na that was the reason. We thought that she was going abroad because kailangan lang niya magtrabaho. But of course, that was hard for me. I was very young. Nakikita ko yung parents ko nag-aaway in front of me. And I'm not sure if everybody will understand, pero iba kasi yung effect pag yung dalawang role models mo nakikita mong hindi okay. And parang, of course, as a kid, you want to belong in a family. And it's so hard to see na it's crumbling everything is crumbling down.
Yeah.
So yun. So, pero even if ganon, I was very lucky. I had my grandparents. I had my titos and titas to look after us. And si mommy, hindi naman niya kami talaga pinabayaan. So, she worked really hard. She made sure na tama yung pagpapalaki sa amin.
Yeah.
She made sure na she always talked to us. Kaya parang, ilang taon ba ako nun? 8 years old, 9 years old, may sarili na akong cellphone.
Wow.
Ayun. So, ganun naman ka-consistent si mommy. So, ako naman, being as a, alam mo yun, nare-recognize natin yung efforts ng mom. And hindi din kasi madali na mapalayo sa anak. And si mommy naman lagi niya ina-explain yun sa amin why she's away.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that I have a mom like her. So, yung buhay ko na sentro sa nanay ko.
Yeah.
Parang I was living for my mom. I was living to make her happy.
Yeah.
Ayun. So gusto ko pag graduation ko, meron siyang ibibigay na medal sa akin. That was my ultimate goal in life. To make my mom happy. And na-achieve naman. Every graduation, meron tayong award.
Yeah.
Pero hindi nakauwi si mommy. Not even once. Sa elementary graduation, high school graduation. And she promised me na college, uwi siya. So, ginalingan ko talaga. Sabi ko, gagalingan ko talaga this time. Gusto ko, cum laude ako para meron siya ulit isasabit na medal sa akin.
Yeah.
So, nung time na yon, ginalingan ko talaga. I really worked hard. Yung buhay ko na sentro na sa pag-aaral. Wala akong ibang ginawa. Hindi ako gumigimik, hindi ako pumaparty. Kung man lalabas ako after exams lang.
Wow.
Ayun, ganon ka-dedicated. So, na-bless naman tayo ni Lord. Nung time din na yun, naging deep yung faith ko. Although at this time, pa rin, hindi pa rin perfect, of course. Pero na-deepen talaga yung faith ko with the Lord at this time. So, He gave me, yun nga, so much blessings.
Yeah.
Nung time na yun, I was in a happy relationship. Nag-start na ako mag-beauty pageants and I was winning. And then, yun nga, naging rank 1 ako sa buong college namin.
Wow.
And I didn't expect that sa CRS, USD, College of Rehabilitation Sciences. I didn't expect that. So I grew more and more ambitious to please my mom. And that became my life. Until suddenly, yun nga, parang nalaman ko na hindi na naman siya makaka-uwi for graduation. And meron din kaming hindi pagkakaintindihan nung time na yon. So, nahirapan ako to cope up with it. And then, nag-break din kami ng boyfriend ko at that time. Siguro because of the distance, I was in Manila, he was in Pampanga. So it was so hard for me. And then yung friends ko na kinapitan ko for the longest time from grade school to high school, super close kasi talaga kami. Parang na hindi ako sanay na hindi kami as close na as before. Or hindi ako sanay na yung mga kasama ko sa school hindi kasing supportive nila, hindi kasing understanding nila. Siguro nasanay lang din ako sa kanila. Ayun, so it was so hard for me because lahat nung feeling kong kinakapitan kong image ko or pagkatao ko, nawala yung relationship ko with my mom at that time. Nawala yung relationship ko with my boyfriend. Medyo yung relationship ko with my peers, medyo nag-iba din. And then, that's when I started to have depression. Ayun. Tapos, nung time na yon, mas lalong nawala lahat. So, yung feeling kong talino ko, nawala. As in, super bad. From being rank 1, dumating ako sa point na kung nag-usap tayo ngayon, after 1 hour, hindi ko na naalala na nag-usap tayo.
Ganon ka-foggy yung brain.
Ganon ka-foggy.
Wow.
Super foggy. And dumating sa time na hindi ako makatawa. alam kong nakakatawa yung situation, pero hindi talaga ako makatawa.
Wow.
And I remember pa nga nung time na yun, parang after a year, tumawa ako ng totoong tawa. Tapos sobrang happy ko, naiyak ako after because I realized na, ito pala yung feeling ng masaya. Ayun, it was that bad. And may times na nasa floor lang ako, breakdown, hindi ako makagalaw.
Yeah.
1 week akong nasa room lang, walang ginagawa. Ganon. From very high-functioning achiever, dumating sa point na I had to stop school.
Wow.
Yun. So, di ako nakagraduate on time. Hindi ko nakuha yung gusto kong speech. And at this point, si mami naman never siyang nagkulang. So, she thought na yun nga, yung relationship namin was the reason why I had depression. But it's not true. So, yun nga, ginawa niya ng paraan. So, she flew me to the UK because she's in the UK. And we tried to repair the relationship.
Yeah.
And at this point, na-repair naman yung relationship. Pero, I still was not okay.
Yeah.
Ganon. Parang naalala ko no, nasa UK, di ba? You're experiencing it for the first time. You're seeing your mom for the first time after a very, very, long time.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be happy.
Yeah.
Di ba? But I was happy, pero parang hindi ka sure.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun? And you know you're supposed to be happy, but for some reason, you just don't feel it.
Yeah.
So you act like it. Parang gano'n, nakakapagod. And then, basta may time nun, ma'am, nasa bus kami. Alam mo yung double-deck bus?
Yeah.
Red bus sa UK.
Yeah.
So, sabi ko, tara, second floor, ganyan. Tapos for some reason, I was just crying out of nowhere. Mga ganon. So, yung hormones ko hindi talaga siguro okay nung time na yon. And I was on meds at that time. Ayun. Tapos, ganon. So, parang na-continue, naayos namin ni mami yung relationship. Yung friends ko, okay din. Naging okay na din. Yung peers ko around me, naging okay na din. And I started to join pageants again. And I was doing pretty okay sa pageantry naman. And siguro in the eyes of the world, I was winning.
Yeah.
My life was great.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun? And I also had a job in a speech language pathologist ako. It was a very purposeful job.
Yeah.
We help children with special needs. It provides for my needs. So, sobrang okay ng life ko.
Yeah.
Pero at that time, sobrang alam mo yun, sobrang hindi pa rin ako happy.
Yeah. Grabe. You know, when you're just sharing your story, alam ko may kadugtong pa to eh. Alam ko hindi pa dito natatapos yun. Pero while you're sharing it, I'm like, grabe no. I know that we've been friends for like, few years, 3 years, 4 years. Pero ang lalim pala nung pinanghuhugutan mo, ang lalim. Ngayon ko lang narinig yung ganun kadetalyadong kwento. Let me just go back to you growing up in a broken family. Anong effect nun, in retrospect, anong effect nun sa isang batang lumalaki? And paano mo siya hinarap? Kasi marami sa mga nakikinig sa atin na they are in that situation right now. Or hindi rin nila alam paano mag-cope bilang isang anak sa magkahiwalay na magulang. Paano mo yun pinagdaanan? Paano mo kinondisyon yung mind mo na magkahiwalay yung magulang ko? Nung nalaman mo na, naghiwalay pala sila. Hindi lang pala magtatrabaho yung nanay ko sa ibang bansa para kumita. Pero may deeper reason pala ba't siya umalis.
Of course, mahirap talaga. Kasi yung separation ng parents, hindi lang siya yung separation yung masakit eh.
Oo.
It comes with syempre makikita mo mag-aaway sila.
Oo.
It comes with, syempre hindi na sila one in making decisions. So
Oo.
maguguluhan kasi nung susundan ko.
Oo.
So it comes with, sa akin personally, yun nga, yung lolo't lola ko, sila na yung nag-alaga sa akin. So, medyo mahirap. Pero for me, ang pinakamahirap nung bata ako is kapag pupunta ako sa school.
Mhm.
And for sure, yung mga batang or yung mga taong may broken families would relate to this. Kapag nakikita nila na, for example, may events like Foundation Day, intramurals. Kapag lahat sila kompleto yung family.
Totoo yan.
So parang, or kapag magmamas, alam mo yon, kapag nagsisimba, nakikita mo kompleto yung family, tapos ikaw, ay ba't kulang?
Oo.
Ba't parang wala sa akin? Ganon. So that was probably yung pinaka nag-create ng scar sa akin, na bakit ako kulang?
Yeah.
Ayun. So, pero lucky ako that I had grandparents, I had titos and titas, and yung friends ko talaga sa school, as in, kasi classmates ko sila from elementary to high school, tas kasama ko din sila until college, and we'd have mga recollections. So, isi-share ko yung nangyayari sa life ko, and I'm lucky enough to have yung mga friends full of empathy.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have friends full of empathy kasi nga, naintindihan nila where I'm coming from, and they've been very understanding, and andyan talaga sila sumusuporta. So, ang nangyari pa, lumaki pa yung family ko.
Yeah.
Ganon.
Grabe. What I see is just your grateful heart. Yun lang. Kasi parang, kita mo yung reality ng situation mo bilang bata. Pero, parang mas nangingibabaw yung gratefulness ng heart mo. Na tumitingin ka pa rin sa ibang angulo na, may lola pa rin ako may friends pa rin ako may nasisharean pa rin ako. Even your statement na mas lumaki pa yung family ko. Alam mo yun, it's really coming from a person who has a grateful heart. When it comes to your depression, you were clinically diagnosed, and then, nag-meds ka na, tapos, nakita mo rin kung paano parang bumagsak yung buhay mo from someone who's an achiever, a joyful person, hanggang sa nagkukulong ka ng isang linggo and all that. Maybe to our listeners na we've had several episodes on depression in this podcast as well, pero siguro even I, maybe for someone like me or for our viewers na hindi talaga ganon kalalim yung understanding when it comes to depression. What would you say? Ano yung bagay na kailangan naming maintindihan pagdating sa depression?
Actually, ako din, to be honest, nung may depression ako, I'm in the medical field. And you would expect that I would know, diba? But I didn't know. Third year college ako nun, I had depression na pala, I didn't know. And the only way for me to actually think na I probably have depression is when we ano bang tawag doon? Nagkataon na pinag-aralan namin yung mental health problems.
Oh, sa school.
Sa school.
Oh.
As in, sobrang tumpak. Sakto yun yung topic. Tapos sabi ko, hala, parang ako to. So that's when I went to the guidance counselor. And yun nga, DSM-5, parang may criteria kasi doon para malaman mo if you have depression or if it's just sadness. So for me, that's how I found out. Pero yun nga, para sa mga taong suspecting na possible silang may depression, very helpful talaga to go to a professional. Kasi nga, it's very hard to understand it. Even if I've had it for years. Yeah. Hanggang ngayon, hindi ko pa rin talaga siya fully maintindihan. So it takes a lot of understanding, a lot of patience, and forgiveness din sa sarili, lalong-lalo na. Because sometimes we tend to be too hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And feeling ko yun nga, kailangan ng ng understanding, patience sa sarili, and sa loved one who's going through depression. Kasi sometimes mahirap din talagang intindihin sila. Mahirap intindihin kung ano ang kailangan gawin para sa kanila. So, you just have to be there.
Yeah.
Minsan, you don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
Just understand and let them know that you're there for them, no matter what.
That's so nice. Let's talk about your restoration. How did you break free from that dark moment of your life?
It took a very long time, Ate V. Hindi talaga siya madali.
Yeah.
So, part of the restoration process was, 2 years akong nag-meds.
Yeah.
And then, I faced my fears again. Kasi nawala lahat ng skills ko. Nawala yung pinanghahawakan kong strengths ko na matalino yan. Marunong siyang magsalita. She can communicate. Nawala lahat yon. So, ang nangyari, parang I just faced my fears.
Yeah.
Again. So, I put myself out there. Nag-pageant ako ulit. Nag-work ako ulit.
Yeah.
I challenged myself again. Although it's very hard. As in, super hirap talaga nung time na yun. Because I didn't feel like myself.
Yeah.
Parang may times feeling ko, pinipilit ko na lang.
Yeah.
Pero, present me would thank PK from 2 years ago for doing all of that. Even if it was hard.
Yeah.
So yun nga, kung may mga listeners na suffering from any mental health condition, just try.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it would feel like walang nararating yung pagtatry natin. But we'll find out na if we try again and again, and yung mga maliliit na efforts natin yun, eventually, they will bulk up.
Yeah.
And magugulat ka na lang years after ang layo na ng narating mo.
Yeah.
Ganon. Pero ang pinaka talaga, naka-heal talaga sa akin was my spiritual life.
Yeah.
And isa ka sa mga malaki, no?
Wala kami tissue dito.
Ayun, isa ka sa mga malaking help dun sa pag-grow ka spiritually. Yun. So, I'm really grateful for you. As in super.
Yeah.
Yun lang talaga yung nakapag-heal. Because I tried doing everything.
Yeah.
But hindi pa rin ako nag-heal from depression. And when I developed a deeper relationship with him, doon ko lang na-realize na siya lang talaga. Siya lang ang makakapag-heal and restore sa akin.
Yeah.
And only he can satisfy.
Yeah.
So yun.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Umiyak.
Umiyak ka, girl. Pero alam mo, kita ko yung puso mo. It's a heart of a daughter of God that's just longing for her heavenly Father. And you've found that. Alam mo, ang dami ko pang gustong itanong, ang dami pa nating gustong pag-usapan, pero we will take a pause because we will have another segment and we will continue the conversation. Alam ko medyo nabitin kayo, pero we will continue this conversation with PK again. For now, we would like to thank our major sponsor, MX3. Thank you so much for you. And to all our listeners, thank you for listening. We will continue this conversation in the next episode. Once again, this is Ati V, always here to listen and to think things through with you. Till the next episode of the Major Podcast with Venus Ra.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.